Shalom Mishpachah, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Abba Yahuwah and his son Yahushua HaMashiach, who is great and greatly to be praised. Hey, listen, we're just sitting here in the country. It's so peaceful. And we're out here enjoying our word and just doing what we do. And in Genesis 25, because this is where I am, I'm in Genesis 25. And it says that Abraham had 6 children. This is after the passing of Sarah, his wife, and 6 children. And, you know, I stopped right there because it dawned on me. So Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, those are the forefathers. Those are the first examples that we have in the faith. We are supposed to really reflect on Abraham's faith and how he obeyed Yahuwah to the fullest, and how he was baraked by just obeying. His obedience was everything. His belief in Yahuwah was everything. This is why the scripture declares that Abraham believed God and it was accounted to him for righteousness. But I started to think just after reading that first passage of scripture in Genesis 25 on how he remarried and he had 5 children or 6 children after Sarah's passing. Abraham didn't have a gang of wives. He wouldn't have never laid with the maidservant had he not got that notion that he wasn't going to have a baby. So in that disobedience, and we all know the story, you know, was it Isaac? Was it Isaac that was born? Ishmael. It was Ishmael. It wasn't Isaac. So he wouldn't have never laid with Hagar, and Ishmael wouldn't have never came about. And that's where I think his faith faltered, you know. And that just shows us that we're human. We make mistakes, we're human, and we're not perfect. But what stood out to me, excuse me, in this whole passage that we're talking about, this precept that we're talking about, is that he didn't have a gang of wives. And I'm sure he could have. If he chose to, he could have, but he didn't. And I think that speaks volumes on us when we look at brothers that have 5 and 6 wives. That's not how Abraham moved. That's not how he did it. And the example is in Genesis 25 when it says that he bore children right after Sarah passed. So after he buried Sarah and he mourned, then he got remarried. So all of this other stuff, you know, a lot of stuff we're doing, we're attempting to mimic the ancestors when that is not always the best situation, the best thing that we should be doing. But you know, to each his own. Sweetie, you want to say something about this whole thing?
Well, I try to tell people all the time that we're different from our ancestors. They were stiff-necked. I mean, they're the reason we're in the curse to begin with, if I can be honest. Mm-hmm. So why would you want to follow that? You know, Yahuwah did not tell us or tell man that you can have a gang of wives. He gave Adam one woman, and that's in the word for a reason. My thing is, we have his Ruach now, who puts his laws on our heart, who tells us what's right and what's wrong. Back then, it was like, you know, Abba was just letting men do what they do and seeing how they evolve. They decided that they wanted a king. They decided that they wanted to have multiple wives. They decided that they wanted to do it that way. And we now have his Ruach, so that we can be holy and righteous as he is holy and righteous. And we don't follow the mistakes of our ancestors. And they are our people, our ancestors. We don't follow their mistakes because we're looking for identity. Our identity is in Yahuwah. So the relationship is here that's going to lead you into righteousness.
Right. So there you have it. You know, we don't want to draw this long conclusion about this thing, but, you know, we walk according to the Ruach and how he leads us.
Yes.
And in saying that, he will lead us into all truth. And so that's how we do it. That's how we move. And that's how Yahuwah is pleased, because we just want to do the things that are pleasing in his sight. So whoever this is for, here you go. Shalom.
Shalom.